What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Burndown YouTube channel. So today I figured I would pick the camera up, let you guys hang out with me, and you can make the decision if you'd like to watch the video or not. I call it boring stuff. So I have boring stuff that I have to do, and this is all those little things that you do that add up that make you feel good about life. But in the grand scheme of things, when you have important things to do, right, like put motors and such in, you're not really worried about the little stuff. Well, we are rock and roll in that department finally with the Winnebago. So we're on to the little stuff, the stuff that makes a big difference. So for starters, we're doing a little chemistry this morning, and I kept opening these and then leaving them out. Now they're basically junk because they probably have paint in them. So I pulled off the trim of the Bego on the front. You can see where it's ugly. I made these out of steel. I should have made them out of aluminum. So we're gonna clean all this up. This is all rust from the backside of it. And then I painted them in place before we went last time. And then they were getting ugly. And I was like, you know, I should probably fix that. And the reason I even decided to do it is opening this up and working on all this stuff in here. I've had this panel here since day one, and I've never addressed it. So this covers like the fresh air. And whoever owned this before me put this here, probably when you're driving down the road and this motor is baking balls hot, the passenger's feet were probably on fire. So they put that there, and then this had the hoses and some other stuff coming through, and then I snaked a couple different wires through, but that's all gone. I took all the heater hoses and stuff out because we got rid of the heater for the sub. So I was like, man, I should, when people are looking in here, like this thing is an eyesore, right? If they want to go, oh look, there's a, you know, a Mac valve, it's like, and then there's this weird panel here. So I was like, it'd be easy to make a little panel, paint it black, and then kind of blend in. And then I have a hole up here as well, which I don't think is as important as visual, right? So I was doing that, and I kept walking up, and we had peeled paint on this when I put everything in, and I had that piece that looked chipped, but it was just peeled paint, and it drove me nuts. But it was like the day before we had to go to Vegas last year. And I just left it because I'm like, I don't have time. I was completely out of time. And then it's been like that ever since because we've been chasing all kinds of other things. So today is the day that we went ahead and made good on this. So it's just a two-stage Bego white, what I had laying around from when I did the side and the back. I covered up where it said Winnebago, and we turned it into Winnebago. So it matches pretty good. It's not spot on, but it is better than rust color. So these dudes are gonna be a little bit brighter, so that top edge will be pretty bright compared to the rest of it, but we'll wipe it down and try to make it as good as we can. It'll similarly look kind of like that. You know, the whites will be a little bit different, but that's better than peeled in my opinion. Peeled and rusty, those aren't really that acceptable. If I was really froggy and had time, I'd like to get in here. You can see I got some white behind it, so all that stuff should be black. But again, we're just doing what we can with what we got. I replaced this screen. I don't know if I said that in a different video. So I went and got the material and put a new screen in here. This thing used to be all floppy and ugly. And then this thing has always bugged me. I don't have new rubber, but we'll throw down a piece of tape, and then I will, I think I could probably cut this and put silicone on it and stuff it back in, I think is the plan. Instead of just getting rid of it, we'll just give it a little sliceroo and goop her up, and hopefully not make too much of a mess on the window. So that is on the agenda. So stuff like that, man. And it's funny because, you know, to you guys, you probably don't, maybe you did or didn't notice this, but like I sit there and I can see this all the time, and it just drives me insane. So fixing that is huge. And then the other thing I fixed too, that again, I'm sure some of you guys have seen it, probably drove you nuts. This was crooked because the tape had kind of let go. It was like sideways a little bit, and it made me want to pull my hair out every time I saw it, but I didn't have the double-sided stick tape. So we finally got that figured out too. So stuff like that, like it's just the detail stuff, it starts wearing on you, but that's when you know that you're doing good and that you've gotten far. Because when your motor doesn't run, your transmission's blown out, or your spider gears are jacked from doing burnouts, a crooked reflector means absolutely nothing at that point. So I'm glad that it's bothering me now. That means I really need something else to do. But let me clean up. I got hoses and stuff. I got my old DA pads. We zipped it down, got it done, and then I'm waiting for that to dry before I put it on so I don't completely roach it. So I'm baking it in the sun. We'll let it sit all day. I may even put it on tomorrow, but we'll see how hard that thing gets and if I can get some assistance, but we got to put that on tomorrow. I'd rather not mess it up because we already have time invested. So I'm gonna clean up, and then we'll take those panels off, see what we're working with, and see what we can find over here in the scrap bin that I probably have on the floor somewhere, that we can make some panels, and then zip them on, secure the wires. I'll show you these cool little tie downs that we have for that kind of stuff, and then that's that. So let's clean up. Grab my little guy. We took off the sneaky panel, so it looks like it's supposed to be a fresh air vent. Already has some sweet screws coming through, and then this is the other hole. So instead of making a giant panel that covers that, we'll just measure this up, and then I'll make a circular one or something and we'll just screw it over that part so it's not so obtrusive. And then I realized this dude is dangling, and this is the heater control. It has a little valve in there, and I'm just gonna clip this off and make it go away. I figure if we ever do heat in here, we'll figure it out, but I'm not gonna use the old school sliders. I'd like to change the dash out anyway at some point, and then we'll make something for this guy with a cut for these wires, like a Pac-Man shape, whatever, and then we'll route these and tidy these guys up. So let's make some stuff. I'll bring you guys back and show you what we got and what it looks like, and then that'll really kind of make this sanitary, so when you look in here you don't see this thing going, hey guys, look at me. So we made a couple pieces. Initially I just cleaned up the circle that I picked up off the ground, and I was like, oh, this is good, we'll throw it in. And I was like, I'll have to scuff it down and then shoot it black so it blends in. And then I had a piece of aluminum, which is a lot easier to kind of cut and work with, and this is a little thin piece, especially to roach out that little doohickey. So I made this piece, and then I kind of set it in there, and I'm like, you know, there's a lot of silver in there. It doesn't look half bad because it looks like somebody put effort into it. So then I found another piece of aluminum and then traced an actual circle, which is the headlamp bezel for the Malibu. Stuck it down there. It seems to be the right size. And then I was like, you know what? I'll put some effort into it, and I'll show all the guys, you know, we can kind of take a little bit of time, make something cool. And I was going to bead roll on the inside, make it like kind of like a button fit type deal. But then I looked over at the bead roller. Sorry, boys. I'm too lazy. I'm not moving 4 tires and all this stuff and dragging that out to rip a little circle on this. So we are going to do a brush finish. I got my Scotch-Brite, and then to do that, you just want to take it and brush it in the same direction. So it's kind of a pain in the butt, but it'll make it kind of look cool. And then if we brush both of these in the same direction, when we stick them in there next to each other, I think that'll look kind of cool, I guess. And then for people that are really trying to eyeball stuff, I think this is a good spot for an Uncle Gus sticker kind of up on the side. So if you do want to kind of look over there and go, hey, what's that? He'll be staring at you. So I think that'll be a fun little touch. So we'll brush finish these, and we'll go install them and see how it looks. Okay, brushed it down, installed it. Now I have fingerprints to wipe off, because that's one of the problems when you do the brush aluminum. If you touch it, it's ugly. So we'll just do one of these to that. So let me get rid of this thing, and then because these come through now and they have that aluminum piece, granted even if they touched it, it's going to plastic, so it wouldn't really hurt nothing unless they cut holes and touch themselves. So we will secure these guys, and then, you know, this was hiding, that plastic was hiding all this, so I'll just wipe this down a little bit. Then I'll get a little guy in here, and we'll stick it on here together and secure it like so, I think. And then we can just zip tie these boys together, and they'll go down. I believe this is actually my handiwork, unfortunately, but you know, it's hard to find good help these days. So what do you want? We're just gonna leave it because it works for now. So we'll snip and trim this, install a little dude, zippy tie doodad, and then when you open it up, it's more presentable. I want to share these with you guys. These things are magical. I sent some to my boy Happel a while back when he started on the mat staying. I'm like, dude, these things are lifesavers when it comes to wiring. I don't technically know what they're for. I get these from a local spot. I haven't found them anywhere else. There's probably something you could find on Amazon that's comparable. Stainless steel, 1/8" holes. Drill a couple holes and you zip tie stuff to it, and they are magic. So if somebody has a better deal than this, let me know. But what we'll do is we will drill a couple holes, then I can rivet this on the plastic, and then we can zip tie the wire to it, and it will keep things nice and tidy. So these things are awesome. Before we show you the final product, I do want to take a minute to say hi. It's hot, so he's on break, but he's limited because we don't want him to get too hot. Right, boy? So no plan today. Maybe some fat snacks and some lounging. Big helper. Thank you, sir. And here we go. So here is the trim piece. And then we did the white, cleaned it up a bit. And now when you look inside, got the wires tidied up, got the chingaderas that were hanging down cut away. So now it's nice and presentable, so when everybody comes in and looks, they don't see all the paint that was missing there, and then random stuff kind of hanging out. So not a complete showstopper, but I feel she's more than acceptable. And yeah, I think it cleaned it up nicely. So we're gonna call it good here. I gotta clean up, and then tomorrow is a new day. You guys know what to do. Thank you for following along. Like, subscribe, share. Till next time, I'm out.